Hifi 699 says, okay, just one quick here, then I'll make an appointment. I'm straight and plan on living that way. How do I get past the urges that seems HOCD bring up, especially when they feel real? Well, this is a common question about HOCD. This is how HOCD behaves. You have to first understand what HOCD is. Instead of thinking that what HOCD make you feel, it's something that you need to pay attention or take it serious or as fact. HOCD is a malfunction in a signaling system of the brain. In other words, amygdala sends danger signals about something that you're against and is not in line with your values. It sends danger signals when there's no such danger. But the brain, not knowing the difference between virtual and actual, it takes that signal and acts on it. Either creates anxiety, creates fear, or makes you think that the signal is got merits. Because when the signal of danger that doesn't exist is sent, prefrontal cortex says, well, there is no narrative to this signal, but there must be something because amygdala sent it. And since there is nothing, I'm going to make up something for it based on what this person is most fearful or dislikes or it's against or it's not in his value. What is that? The sexual stuff. So it sends a narrative to meet the signal of the danger that the danger doesn't exist. And then you take that narrative that prefrontal cortex created and you use it as an evidence that the signal of danger was correct. But instead, you got to understand that there are elements involved. Overactiveness of amygdala creating these kind of dangers, the things that knows you're not all about, so brings that to your attentions more often than it should. It's like trying to protect you by helping you to be aware and alert of something that you don't want. Therefore, it keeps bringing it up. And that putting it under the projector makes you think that there must be something because why is it here? It's here because it's trying to alarm you. It's overactive alarming. It's the alarm that there is nothing happening, but the alarm keeps going on. It's like in the World War II, when the bombers were coming over, let's say London, and the sirens would go on. And as soon as people would hear the sirens, the curtains would pull, the lights would be turned off, and the whole town would go dark. Why? Because the siren was heard. But sometimes there would be no planes, sirens would go up, but there would be no bombers. It just went up. But people still turn lights off, pull the curtains. But there was no bombers. But because the siren keeps going on, the activity in the people is the same as if the bombers are there. Same thing, amygdala sends a signal out of place, but the brain treats it as if it's real. And prefrontal cortex makes a narrative and so on and so forth. That's the amygdala part, so to speak, in short. Then there's another element in basal ganglia, midbrain. There is a place called striatum. Striatum, there are three things in there, among other things. Goal finding center is there, reward center is there, and habit center is there. In there, also, there is a lever called caudate nucleus. Caudate nucleus is designed to automatically shut down the intrusive thoughts based on your gender, your values, what's sacred to you, what you hold important to you, your principles. But when caudate nucleus malfunctions, when the intrusive thought shows up, which intrusive thought, by the way, shows up in every single human being's brain. But in the non-OCD brains, when intrusive thoughts shows up, they say, oh, that was nasty thought, depending on whatever is nasty to them. And then caudate nucleus shuts it down, and then you go by your business. Done. In OCD brain, caudate nucleus is malfunctioning. It's like a automatic gear of an automobile that is supposed to go to a certain speed and change gear automatically. But when the automatic gear doesn't work, it just goes, it doesn't change the gear. So in OCD brains, when intrusive thoughts show up, caudate nucleus is supposed to shut it down. When it's malfunctioning, it doesn't shut it down. Because it doesn't shut it down, the thought remain. It doesn't dissipate. It's hanging around, hovering. And then the sufferer thinks, oh, because it's not going away, it must mean something. It must have a message. I must be now a different gender because it suggested that and it's not going away. Well, It's not that you're changing any shape or form, is that the lever that is supposed to automatically shut down the intrusive thoughts after you initially notice it is not working well. It's like those danger signals that are being sent by the amygdala. So, in order for that, you need to understand how HOCD works and understand all these and create a certain kind of a behavior toward these thoughts, how to deal with them, and then rewire your brain to manually get the caudate nucleus doing what it does. You do it for it. And after a while, it clicks back into its automatic field. And then you have rewired your brain through neuroplasticity, which is how you react to these thoughts. And then you go on about your business and you'll understand what this is all about. You won't freak out the next time. And if it ever shows up again, you know what it is, so you won't, be frightened and you know how to deal with it. And one of the glitches that this brain has, because realize we didn't have this brain until 40,000 years ago. For millions of years, we lived the way we lived with instinct, like animals did. We ran, we hunt, we slept, we had sex. We had no deviation because we had no ability to think. There was no thinking ability, there was no speaking ability. Therefore, we were not thinking about anything. There was no intrusive thoughts because the thinking ability wasn't there. Thoughts are the roots of all problems. Since we have had this brain, sophisticated brain, since 40,000 years ago, then the problems, many psychological problems started because the roots of most psychological problems is in thinking, in thoughts. And those thoughts are coming from the ingredients that have been lodged into consciousness, which comes from all kinds of things that is available in the universe, in our world, and the brain gets to become aware of it through the mediums and books and videos and movies and lifestyles and activities of people's different things. And you become aware of existence of all these things in the world, and those informations are stored in the consciousness, and from consciousness, thoughts are being created by the brain, and that's its job. 80, 90,000 thoughts a day. It's created. None of them you're responsible. So you got to understand how this whole mechanism works. Then you understand that HOCD is just a distraction and bullshit that is just making people feel miserable, and then learn by educating yourself how to deal with it, how to manage it, and help yourself become stronger as the movement of the psyche is concerned. I hope that answers your question. Hifi699. And anything further, you're welcome to go on my site, make an appointment. And then for a new client, for 1 hour appointment, I will add another 30 minutes on me, so we won't have to rush. Blake says, I'm grateful for your support, Mehran. You're quite welcome. My pleasure. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.